we're going live in 3, 2, the other one. 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Why? You know, it's goofy, it works. Maybe be on that side, so that way you have more room. Anyway. I didn't say be bigger. You're blocking my screen.
Is this better?
I just say turn back. Maybe the cobalt. Anyway.
Wait, out of Cobalt?
The
Do I have a
one that's
Cobalt?
has Coca-Cola on it.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
cobalt.
Okay.
God damn.
That's why I said you have to choose the TV or the Power Ranger.
The TV is way too big and bulky, and you're like in my face now. You're blocking my face.
Sorry, give me a moment.
There we go. Okay. So,
Where's
welcome to the Luna Light Podcast, I guess. Oh boy. So, this is my friend, Y People.
Howdy?
And of course, there's others. They just haven't got a chance to head on over. But don't worry, that might happen later. Okay. Something. Okay. New shit that's been going on. Okay. Give the laydown of this. It is a variety podcast. Meaning a little bit of everything, you know? So, first things first, something new that's going on. There's been a update to Sea of Thieves that's like really big. You can speak.
No, I said, how big is it?
Well, let's just say, the answer is yes. Uh, the answer is yes on, like, the size. It, you're having feedback. Do you got any headphones to plug into your phone? Anyway, the thing, they added 2 new weapons. They are actual fucking weapons, not like, you know, stuff that, like, you know, you find laying around. You actually can equip them. And
I'm sorry, can you please repeat some of that?
they added 2 new few new weapons, and 2 of them are sort of like basic weapons. Similar to, like, you know, the flintlock, the eye of reach, and whatnot.
Oh, neat. Neat. Uh,
which
so do they have like this type
those
of
two
cannons or whatnot?
weapons are the throwing knife and the double barrel pistol. Which I find is very
Ooh.
interesting. Then there is also uh, a new cannonball type called the scatter shot, I think.
Oh wow, what's that?
Essentially, instead of like one big cannonball, it essentially turns your cannon into a shotgun, of where it has less range, but shoots multiple smaller balls at the enemy.
You had me at transform to what was it? A cannon?
A cannon to like basically a shotgun. Think of like a shotgun cannon.
I wish a weapon
Then
like that
there
exists.
is a new throwable, which from what I'm able to tell, it is the Bone Caller, and summons free ally skeletons to you. The skeletons won't last forever, but like will help you out with defeating other skeletons and enemies, so on and so forth. And then
Eat.
there is the forgot what's called. I think the Conch of Siren Song. I don't know. It is a magic conch shell that allows you to blow gusts of wind, which you can use to not only move your rowboat as fast as like a speedboat, but also you can make your ship basically instantly at full bellows. And you can even go beyond full bellows.
Okay, so catch me up. What's a bellow again?
Bellows is full bellows means your the wind your sail is catching as much wind as it can.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I don't study, you know, the whole build of ships, so this is all new to me. So
Yeah.
just learn about, pirate ships and sails and a little bit of ins and
Because of
outs,
Sea of
but
Thieves,
not,
I got
that's
really
definitely not my
interested.
expertise. I'll
Because
have to
of
look
Sea
that
of
up.
Thieves, I got really interested in maps at one point. Anyway,
Which map was your favorite?
what? I don't
Which
know.
map is your favorite?
VR chat map like that? I don't know. The one I currently have set to my homeworld. It's a nice rainy world. In other news, Nintendo have released Endless Ocean for the Nintendo Switch. Endless Ocean is a. It's hard to describe it. Basically, there was another game with the same title on the Wii, but the but it's not a sequel. It's not a continuation. It's not. It's basically sort of like a complete reboot, and like the only thing that gets reused is the randomized ocean and the title Endless Ocean. So there's that. A lot of oceanic adventures.
Ah.
Now pushing on to, we all have to face this every now and then. Some negative news.
Uh-oh.
One of them is PlayStation. It has decided to do something against Helldivers, which, you know, I'm just going to say PlayStation has never stated before that you needed a requirement for a PlayStation account to play their game. And now, like, all suddenly they just changed it. It's just like, I was planning of getting Helldivers too, but like ever since that just sort of killed my mood to get the game. In other news, the Nintendo is taking action against Gary's Mod.
Oh, I thought that was just a joke.
Nope. Which, to be fair, like, yes, I understand it is a sad thing, and most of the Nintendo stuff that's on there, are probably custom-made models, but there is a lot of models that aren't custom-made and are just ported over, such as, like, the Splatoon stuff. And I'm guessing they probably did it because remember the SMG 4 movie that recently released? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm good. I'm just listening. I'm just shocked at the fact that I don't get it.
Well,
Why would
remember
Nintendo want
the
to go after
SMG
Gary's
4
Mod? You know, an app
movie?
that's been around for years, probably decades.
Yeah. Well, it's probably because the SMG 4 movie, like, they were kind of really pushing Mario as if it's their mascot. Which, like, you know, throughout the whole thing, like, yeah, it was okay, but, like, I feel like it was pushing boundaries in the wrong directions. Such as the beginning part of the movie was, like, you know, was, like, okay. And especially that part of where, like, it sidetracked Mario to be, like, this, like, fucking crazy fucking hobo of a character that works off of Toon Logic, just going around destroying every TV he can find. I find that part, up to that part, it was fucking hilarious. But, like, afterwards, it just, like, you know, it was, like, sort of mix. Not only that, but, like, especially with, like, the push for them to make, like, you know, custom models. Like, I guess SMG sort of, like, saw this, like, happening a mile ahead. But, like, still, I feel like he brought, like, it into light and gave Nintendo attention. And Nintendo probably looked into it and saw, like, the Splatoon boom that happened. And realized that they were literally just porting models from their games to Gary's Mod. Which is probably why SMG is still, like, you know, relatively still running. Because, like, the Mario model that he is using is either not in Gary's Mod or not, or completely fan made. But then again, I
Interesting.
understand
But
like
considering the fact
everybody's
that
like saying like
the
it's
SMG4 version of Mario is, under
yeah
fair
yeah yeah
use
yeah
and
yeah yeah.
considered parody, there's really nothing Nintendo can do.
But but they can do something when people start using their characters as if they own them. And that's why I was always saying, hey guys, when you're talking about Nintendo and ownership, I think some of you are getting the wrong idea. And you're going to cause a Dune situation of where people would act like that they own it. Like, they don't own the games, they act like that they own the IP and the character, and all they do is change up their personality while everything else ends up like mostly the same.
I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that really concerns me with SMG4 because
Like
you know
isn't
he
isn't
has a lot
like
of
his
talent, great
persona
talent, especially his
within.
team. I just don't understand why he doesn't really push for SMG4 the character instead of Mario. I
Yeah
kind of just
yeah
wish
yeah
that they
yeah
could just
yeah
make one episode
yeah, yeah. Like
without using Mario, Luigi. I
I
just want to see what SMG4 can do without Peach, Mario, and Bowser.
yeah 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 yeah. Like I feel like they can just like use like the Nintendo stuff as like background, because like they already have like something that qualifies as parody under that counts towards parody, which is SMG free and SMG4. But Mario himself does not count towards parody. As a matter of fact, a lot of places could count him as like slandering and defaming a character or defiling a character. Basically, something that's saying like, "Hey, you're kind of ruining this character's representation." And and we got some people in the chat. Oh, hello there. Hi. Um. Anyway, the point is, I understand Nintendo's end, and I understand people being sad about it. But like, but was, but let's be for real here. Yes, you can own the copy of the game, but that doesn't mean you're allowed to do anything you want to the IP. Which I think people should learn that. And learn it now. Like, I'm sorry, just like, come on, man. Like,
I agree. I mean, it is up for debate, but at the same time, it is Nintendo's IP, and they can do whatever they want.
like, they learn, like, another YouTuber, I think, he used to be as popular as SMG, but not anymore. It's sort of a bit lesser, but like Spider, um, if you know what he is, he sort of has like he sort of became part of like that whole Splatoon boom. And part of it, he has like a character that's sort of like, it was like, I don't know, a schoolgirl that's like an inkling. Anyway, they basically gave her like, the joke is, oh, she has to pee a lot because she's always drinking soda. That's what I roughly get, because every time I watch one of those videos, that's just what happens. Anyway, in other stuff, Do you got any like updates and whatnot?
Depends on what topic. What topic are you
Whatever
mostly
you want
interested
to
in?
talk about.
Whatever. Let's see here. Hang on.
Like,
I mean, there's so much to talk about. Just give me a moment. Just gotta find something. I sent you a link. Tell me what you think.
uh,
Title of this article is called "The First Glow-in-the-Dark Animals May Have Been Ancient Coral Descendants." Ooh, sounds interesting.
bio. That's actually kind of interesting. Okay, science talk. Okay, I dig. I dig. I dig it. God damn. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I mean, bioluminescence as, like, a thing in creatures is, like, like, I've been, like, remembering it every now and then, like, a bunch of times, like, bioluminescence, like, it is such a interesting thing, and, like, although of how rare it occurs, it just, like, whenever it does, like, people just go, like, oh, man, that's cool.
It is actually, and I just learned about this.
Yeah, bioluminescence is like fucking interesting. Oh, and you want to know a funny thing that I just now remembered?
Oh yes, please.
Um, I funny that you are the first person that decides to be with me on my podcast because you were also the first collab that I had on Twitch. Remember we played Grounded? We also had the joke of get hooked.
Not that I'm aware of.
I think you were still using like that My Little Pony Sona.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, the
I always
video
find a
is
lot of the
still on my
My Little
Twitch.
Pony
Right?
sonas to be quite interesting, especially when I look up their bios. Like for instance, there was someone who came by my stream by the name of As Banan Pie, and they came by and they wanted to celebrate what was it? I believe it was like 10 plus years of being on Tumblr, and the lore pretty much consisted of how they own like their own little banana shop. So I thought it was pretty cute.
Tumblr. I have to say, like, as like, Tumblr now, like, people treat it the same way that people treat, like, Hot Topic. Like, all people can think of, like, whenever they don't like it is, like, the stereotype of it that's, like, years old. But, like, in actuality, it's just, like, meh. It's existing. So, like, yeah. I'm I think I did delete my Tumblr account, but like, I just joined it because like it just seemed to be like, a general like interesting place and very chill. Like, yeah, it has its trials and tribulations. Yeah, it's basically built like a dinosaur, and yes, it is kind of like, millennial Facebook, but still. Um, anyway, the, I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. The Heckle Hive, the group that I run, is like, let me check. It's like reaching like a lot of members. Yeah, it's like over 400 members now, and I'm just like so grateful. Because, like, you know, it has like a really interesting community. Oh shit.
I'm still here. I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm just eating. I'm really intrigued with this discussion we're having.
I'm just typing something down real quick because, like, I just forgot.
And while you do that, I'll say this. There was one paragraph that really intrigued me with this article that was talking about the first glow in the dark. Uh,
Species?
Seconds. The first glow in the dark.
Like,
Animals.
I would think it would
And,
probably be like
what really intrigued me was
fungi.
soft core may look like waving reeds, skeleton fingers, or stalks of bamboo. Glow pink, orange, white, blue, and purple under the researchers' spotlight. However, for some species, the whole body glows. For others, only parts of the branches will glow. Said Danielle De Leo, a study co-author, evolutionary marine biologist at the Smithsonian. Interesting.
I'm
The
assuming
real question is,
I'm assuming
do
the
these
coral
glow-in-the-dark animals, do their colors represent their emotions, or is it just based on their whole makeup of their, biology?
wait, is it like a new discovery, the bioluminescent coral?
Is it really?
I
So
I,
it's
was-
still under
I was
study.
asking you. I was asking you. Uh, but yeah, the bioluminescence is like a really interesting thing. A lot of I could understand of why Coral would want to do it, especially if it's like if it's like some kind of new discovery. I can understand of why Coral would want to do it is probably because like of how much dead coral that's out there compared to living one, and they probably are using glowing to like to attract sea creatures to say like, hey, we're right here, and so they can have a symbiotic relationship. As a matter of fact, there's certain like ocean parts of the sea that is filled with bioluminescent algae.
Oh?
Like yeah, the stretching. Oh, like yeah, the algae gives it like a wonderfully glowing blue color.
Those that just reflected off the light rays or based off of emotion?
I don't know. Okay. Trying to think. Oh, and also I'm planning of like maybe making a company or registering a company.
What are your steps, on how you plan to, you know, work
Well,
on this
first
company
of
of yours?
all, I'm going to make it not like for anything specific. So that way, I can have it dabble in a little bit of everything.
Okay. Have you measured the pros and cons? Since this is pretty much going to
Pros,
be,
I will be
your own
allowed to
company with,
sell stuff.
very few workers.
Pros, I would. It's very entrepreneurial. I have heard a lot of people own their own companies just so they can be allowed to sell stuff. Because if you didn't know, certain licenses to sell stuff requires you to have some sort of business. Say like a vendor's license to sell prepackaged food, so, like Kit Kats and whatnot. So you need a.
Wait, people still eat Kit Kats?
I was using that as an example, and decides if anybody's eating a Kit Kat, eat a Japanese one. You thank me later.
Wait. So what's the difference between the Japanese Kit Kat and the American Kit Kat?
The American Kit Kat, all you get is the standard Kit Kat, and that's it. Japanese Kit Kat, there's like hundreds of different kinds. I think the Sunday morning show even has their own like flavor, which I heard is like blue raspberry. Like blueberry and black raspberry. Blackberry. Anyway, it certainly is like interesting. Like, I because I want to like sort of like run like um a little shop for Renaissance Fair of where like I got like all sorts of candies from like outside of like typical places. Also, not only that, but like a lot of times to buy like in bulk from the actual like um guys that like make and sell the make the product. You also need to like to have an actual business, actual have a company. The one downside to having a company that isn't something specific is that you need to be able to prove that that is part of your business, and so you can like use it as a tax write-off. The benefit is tax write-offs. And guess what? One of the like a lot of the big corporations out there, you want to know of how they like end up being so rich?
Honestly, there's various ways I can think of, but please enlighten me.
They do not sell their stocks.
Ah, exactly. They wait for the
But
highest bidder.
because like at that point you're not getting a lot of money because like if you're not selling stocks or portions of your company, what are uh and like the stuff you're doing isn't exactly being a net positive, is, well, how does some billionaires do it is like they get out a loan and then they pay that loan with an even bigger loan, and then they pay that loan with an even bigger loan, and you see of how the cycle repeats. Which I think, like, is fucking unfair, because that means they are unable to pay, like, any taxes.
I mean, hey, they manipulate the system.
Like you can solve it easily just by saying, like, yo, hey, if you're already in debt, if you have a unpaid loan, you can't bring out another. Simple as that. You just can't bring out another. Like, at this point, I think the economy would benefit from like those big corporations crumbling down. Because one of the reasons why America, like, gives them free handouts and, like, allows them to do all that stuff is because, like, there was a point of where essentially we were going to have, like, we were going to have, like, some kind of, like, big problem because the economy was failing. So the government just, like, bailed out all these companies' debts, because basically they were the main guys going around. And so, yeah. But at this point, I think they're, like, so big, is just like, and they already done so much damage that if they fall down, like, they wouldn't actually cause any harm, and that would just leave, like, everybody, nature to equalize. The smaller creatures, eating on the corpse of the big creature.
Ooh, really now. So here's my question for you, since we're on the topic of business. What is your opinion on the fact that Warren Buffett is no longer the richest man in the world?
I'm not surprised. As a matter of fact, because I don't know that name, like, that means I'm even less surprised. Like, at this point, we only had, like, a select few. And now there's even more a select few. Great.
I see. Because now it's Jeff Bezos, and I know that Amazon is quite controversial these days, even though it's a pretty efficient shipping services. Dare I say even more efficient than what's eBay and FedEx and UPS and USPS offers. I mean, what are your thoughts on Amazon? Do you think that the workers are being treated a little bit more fairly after it's been exposed about the unfair treatment, or not so much?
I think the workers are just... I think the workers are being treated, like, abhorrently. Like, time and time again, we've seen that the Amazon workers are being abused and being ignored. And want to know something interesting? The creator of the Amazon warehouses don't exactly fully own the, like, warehouses. That's how they're able to get away with, like, responsibility for such a thing. Because each warehouse is owned by, like, a individual, say, like a manager. All Amazon does is send stuff to and out, to and away from there. And they also provide, like, technology and, like, other stuff to essentially automate the process and make it more efficient. And that's how they get away with, essentially, the workers. Because, because a lot of systems in the world would, like, go like, oh, it's not Amazon's fault, it's the warehouse manager. Oh, it's not the warehouse manager's fault, it's Amazon. It's not Amazon's fault, it's the warehouse manager. And it just loops and loops and loops and loops. You see what I'm getting at?
It does.
That's why it's so hard to, like, get them actually fucking accountable for this shit. Because they are literally going through loopholes. I'm sorry right now.
So if that's the case, what your statement is, there's just this endless cycle of blame being brought upon, a lot of corporations, especially the bigger they become. So there's some cases where it is the CEO's fault, and there's some cases where it's not. There's some cases where it is the manager's.
Even though, like, any sane person would say, like,
put the blame on the employee. Wow.
Even though any sane person would say, like, it's clearly Amazon is the higher power, meaning they have the control and say, and they have the responsibility to make sure this shit don't happen. But the way our legal systems currently, they see it otherwise.
And one can imagine how many legal cases that judges all over the world receive based on, what is it, subpoenas and, arbitration-based cases, sexual harassment cases, workers' comp related issues. It's just massive.
I'm sorry, I'm having, like, some peanut butter Oreo cakesters, and I really love this peanut butter icing. It's actually creamy.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
It's actually fucking creamy. Delicious. Delicious. Okay.
Sounds tasty what you're eating. I mean, sounds tasty whatever you're munching on. Wonder what you're eating.
Peanut butter Oreo cakesters.
Peanut butter Oreos? That's quite an interesting combination.
Peanut butter Oreo cakesters. They're cakester Oreos.
I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Any other snacks that you recommend to, me and the viewers?
Huh? What? Sorry. Can you repeat that?
Are there any other snacks that you like to recommend to me or the viewers? Because we're getting kind of hungry.
Uh, I I would say like uh, well, it changes depending on person to person, but like there's a few of them that are like very up there. Um, such as uh, f- crispy fried onions. Which that is a good snack to have when you're high, especially. Uh, because like it comes in like this can, and you can just like either use your hand to like num num, or use a spoon, and you just you'll be feeling really unhealthy afterwards, but like even when you're sober, you just can't help but keep on munching. Like fried onions, man. God damn. they're they're sort of like a much more dried and like snack version of onion rings. Which I actually do kind of like Funyuns.
Onions. You don't like Lay's potato chips?
I don't like bland stuff. Like, if there's not a lot of flavor to it, I'm not exactly interested. Like,
You're the first friend that I met that said Lay's chips are bland. That is pretty funny to me.
listen, if even, like, if even Pringles have much more, Pringles or the low fat variant are much more delicious than that, I'm sorry. Which I do like Pringles because, like, of how it, like, clumps up in your mouth and the flavor is just like, the more you salivate on that, like, mushy blob of chip in your mouth, the more the flavor gets around, and it's just, like, makes you salivate even more, and it's just, like, mm, and it's kind of makes you tempted to like eat more chips, um, so that way you can see of how big of a blob you can have in your mouth.
Mmm.
Similar to like bubblegum. Have you
I
ever
haven't had
like
Pringles in such a long time. My favorite Pringles were those the flavors were the pizza flavor. Those were absolutely scrumptious.
pizza. Me, like, you can't go wrong with sour cream and onion. Or
Those are
beer
good too,
cheese.
but I don't know why. I always had some weird aftertaste. I mean, it was just me though.
Eh. Like, I'm the type of person that would just, like, grab a bunch. Like, I'm the type of person that, like, if you gave me a bouquet of onion grass, goddamn, you already got my heart. Goddamn.
Onion grass?
It is a breed of onion and chives that grows wildly. It's also called wild onions.
Oh, okay.
Their bulbs are tend to be really small most of the time, but like you can just like snap off the top of them, and like you can tell them apart from normal grass Because normal grass, they would be much more like a leaf. They would be like, flat. Onion grass would be more having a stalk. So like if you see like a piece of grass that's more like that looks more like, a cylinder and then a flat blade, and it looks like, and it has like a bit of, and it gets lighter at the bottom, then that's some onion grass. Just grab some, rip, and then, whew, that has a nice onion smell. And then, like, maybe, I don't know if it's safe to eat, but, like, I have heard some people do, like, wash it off, chop it up, and use it for some chives. Yeah.
I mean, I've been mostly into the sun chips or anything with sea salt. I never really liked chips with way too much regular salt, but sea salt. It's
Sea
just
salt, I feel
awesome.
like
I've had
sea
those,
salt
and
and
I'm just
regular are just sort of
what's
like,
different?
the same to me. I can't really taste the subtle differences. Uh, but, but yeah. And also, to the person that said lurkin, you don't have to say that around here. Just do it. Like I perfectly understand, and you're fine. Like it's a podcast. Like chat is not exactly a focus here. Yeah.
That's true.
Like isn't one of the whole core purposes of podcasts is to just get viewers, not like active people within the chat, like, which by the way, like I have seen people like complain or like have that be a bannable phrase or a blocked phrase, which is the lurk thing, and I just go like, Doug, like, first of all, I can understand that a lot of people are being pieces of shit, but like, don't, like, I can also understand it for the other side of where, like, you're making it known that you not want to, like, be active, which, some people would take that as a bad thing, some people would take it as a good thing, and I just say, just do it. Just do it. No need to ask for permission or make it known. Just do it. You know what I mean?
Indeed, I do.
There's no shame in it. Anyway, there. Hold on, I'm just gonna fiddle with the audio real quick. Oh, that is like, it's kind of old, but like I understand that.
Don't worry, send you the link right now.
Oh, that was the close one. I almost clicked on the like VR chat program. So yeah, uh, like, to be quite honest, like, I'm not that big on fighting games.
Why is that?
It's just it's just something that like I just like, I can give respect to certain fighting games like Guilty Gear or Tekken. But like it feels like, the big names of fighting games, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter and Tekken, nowadays their newer titles have something in them that just makes it just eh? Like not really that much of an interesting title to get into. Like with Street Fighter, it just looks like it's trying way too hard to be Tekken. And not only that, but it has fumbled crossovers and also has a bit of issues with the hair because they just put Street Fighter stuff into an engine without making extra modifications or preparations. Because if you didn't know, um, engines are just a place to put the software and characters and they make the game run on. Say the Source engine for Half-Life 2 and Left 4 Dead or whatnot. But one thing to note
I see.
But one key thing to note is that half is that Half-Life 2 is not the same as Portal 2. And not only in terms of how they run, but in the mechanics wise. And that goes with Team Fortress 2 and Left 4 Dead. Yes, it's the same engine, but they are drastically different. But with Street Fighter and it using the Resident Evil engine, it just looks like they just gave Resident Evil a Street Fighter mod. Because if you didn't know, the most recent Resident Evils, it was made to be similar to PT. And so a lot of the hair in those games act a bit too flowy. Especially the longer the hair, the more all over the place it is. And if you've seen the recent Street Fighter game, you would notice that the hair has a massive problem of constantly clipping, going all over the place, and it feels like, they didn't even try to, give the hair actual physics that would match within the fighting game. Because, in a fighting game, you want, in terms of hair, I would think that you want fighting game to have hair that, flows rather than gets thrown. You know what I mean? Hello? Sorry, I went.
Mm.
Well, it's 30 years that fighting games have been around, and I'm just happy that we got a Street Fighter 6, a new Mortal Kombat, new Guilty Gear, and
Yeah, yeah.
what else? A
Well,
new Tekken.
I
And
actually
even though it has
liked the
questionable business
Tekken. Like
practices,
they
it's just great to
me-
see how a lot of people are just,
I actually like the new Tekken because
just
they
enjoying
immediately.
themselves, playing the games, and participating in lots of tournaments.
Sorry. I like the new Tekken because they immediately got my attention through the announcer alone, which anybody who knows me would know I'm a bit of a fan of tokusatsu, which is the same genre of Godzilla, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, and Ultraman. Yes, I know there's some companies in Japan that are named Tokusatsu, but that name is referring to the genre. But yeah, like, the voice actor for the announcer in the most recent Tekken game is the same voice actor for the Zenkai Changer from Zenkaiger, which was the 40th anniversary season of Super Sentai. Like, if you actually seen Tekken, like, it would go like, Kazuya Mishima!
Just feel the energy, in the announcer's voice, which I love.
And
However,
actually, I think it's a voice actress.
certain esports announcers that you can choose and use, and they pretty much call out what happens play by play, which is really unique.
Yeah. Speaking of esports, I'm actually thinking of maybe making a furry tournament group of where it would like have tournaments involving different games. I'm not going to say the name right now, and I'm probably going to do it when I get a freed up group slot, which is probably going to happen when I've finished up with the SS Levi, which is either going to be I think probably either 2 weeks from now is when its season 1 finale is going to happen, or further than that. To be quite honest, I don't know whether to end it at the season finale or to end it at season 2. Because, it's been going good, but, there's a bunch of hiccups and stuff like that, and it's, kind of difficult. You know what I mean? It's, hard to keep something afloat. I have to say, it was certainly a fun time.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I look better without the back. Okay.
But it's really too difficult for me to, make a determination of which one's the best until all the DLC and extra modes are added. I want to, be able to go over the complete package: Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, and Tekken 8.
Which a lot of them are getting really expensive. it's getting to a point of where like a standard version of Tekken is like $80, which I'm just like, I like this game, but ain't no way I'm paying that much. I'm not going to pirate either because I ain't that kind of piece of shit, but like, you know. But yeah. I just want some fighting games with a bit more creativity. Like with ARMS. Of where, I'm just going to say this, ARMS feels a lot more like a fighting game than Smash Bros.
Oh, how so?
Well, first of all, it has, like, you know, that part of where, like, a bunch of characters are in some kind of tournament kind of thing, and each character is, like, unique and has their own backstory and personality. Similar to, like, you know, again, Tekken and Street Fighter. But, and I know people would look at the gameplay and go like, that's not really a fighting game. It's not a traditional fighting game. It's not a traditional, like, arcade cabinet type fighting game.
I'm listening. Go on.
So yeah. It's not a traditional fighting game, yes, but it is certainly way more of a fighting game than Smash Bros. Each character has their own, like, default loadout. And not only that, but similar to other competitive games, you can even change that loadout to try to get, like, that extra edge. Say, like, you know, say, like, our competitive games with, like, loadouts like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And whatnot. And by Pokemon, I don't mean the TCG. I mean the actual fucking game.
Are you talking about Pokken Tournament? It was a game that was made by the Bandai Namco team.
Oh, that's
Pokemon
no. I
fighting
was
based
meaning
game.
the mainline game, but Pokken Tournament is also interesting, as you can customize a support loadout.
Okay, now that I didn't know you could do. Tell me more about this support loadout.
Essentially
feel it should
in
be implemented
Pokken
in further
Tournament,
fighting
you
games?
have the fighting Pokemon, and then you have the other Pokemon. Say, like, you know, in some fighting games, you can quickly summon your other fighter character to do, like, you know, to hop in the arena and do, like, you know, quick attack and then hop out. Well, in Pokken Tournament, that is, they're, of course, they are not like a fighter you can swap out from, but that is a support character. There's, like, you know, I believe Finnegan, Froakie. A lot of them are, like, lower level Pokemon. I believe one of the newest ones was, I I think, uh, uh, Poblio or Litton. But yeah. But still, I like a fighting game that that
Pushes
tries.
the boundaries.
Yeah. Where the only thing that makes it a fighting game is its story structure characters, and the simple fact that they're fighting each other. I think one of the earliest I think before the Switch even launched, there was a tournament for ARMS. And you want to know something interesting? The final
Yes, please.
compender was the creator of the game. The final contender. So, and of course he won, but, it was cool. I really hope that they make another ARMS game because, I love ARMS. But then again, I love, all of the new IPs of Nintendo, such as Codename Steam, Splatoon, Pikmin. Nintendo Pets. So yeah.
What are your thoughts on Rivals of Aether? And, the upcoming Rivals 2?
I'm not fully sure. I haven't exactly heard of that game.
Wait, seriously? One sec.
Hello, Altamon! Dancing dinosaurs, yeah! Welcome to our podcast!
Welcome.
I should really set up to where my Twitch studio tells me of when they posted, when they chatted. Anyway. Ah, my ears ringing. Oh, sweet. Also, I may be, after this podcast, I may be trying to get into contact with my cousin. And she, from what I roughly heard, she sort of she is getting into writing, but like she's roughly uh struggling with like, finding a story, and I'm like struggling with like, writing, but like I have a bunch of stories. So like we might be like planning to like, work together on something. Heck, maybe with my like, company, may I could like, publish it myself. Hey yo, making bank.
I mean, hey, it's possible to go above the sky, you know?
Yeah. I mean, one of my company's taglines is like, has something to do with like, ventures, like, trying to go for like different adventures, going for a little bit of everything and whatnot. Of course, there would be indie, which, by the way, indie does not mean of how many funds they have. It means of how many people are within the company. So, like, if your company is, like, in the hundreds of employees, then it's no longer indie. But if your company is just, like, barely reaching double digits, then it might be indie. So, hundreds, not indie. Small number, indie. And if it's like really big, say like, or like thousands and millions and billions, then it might be considered a A. And higher than that would be double A, triple A. It means nothing about the quality. Absolutely nothing. It just means of how many people
Indeed.
roughly worked on that.
Especially if the product barely has anything to offer.
Yeah, it means that like, roughly, it determines of how many people worked on it, not its quality. I mean, we all heard of Skull and Bones. Oh, God.
Yeah, great game. Totally.
Totally. It's not like a completely gutted game that the poor saps who fucking bought it are desperately trying to make an excuse like they're goddamn NFT owners.
Yeah, totally. Even though it took, what, 10 years of development hell?
And
Yikes.
not only that, but it took them to have to be threatened by a government to, like, release the game or else. They're totally doing
Who knows?
good.
Maybe they'll,
They're totally not being
maybe
outbeaten
they'll
by
be able
fucking.
to, make a miracle, with just like CFEs did, or I
They're
don't know.
totally not being
No Man's Sky.
outbeaten by the same guys that made Banjo and Kazooie. Totally not. They're totally not being beaten out by the same guys who made fucking Battletoads. Battletoads. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, what like, story I should pick to like, I got one that's like a romance novel. One that is a horror novel. one that's horror, one that's romance, one that is like, casual fun. And trying to think, what else is there? And then there's a few that are just concepts, nothing more. But yeah.
Yeah, Skull and Bones. Honestly, it's a shame what happened to that game. So much potential, but Ubisoft
Like,
decided to
all they needed to do
I don't know, delay
was
it,
just
rush
all
the
they
development
needed to
process.
do was just copy and paste the formula of Sea of Thieves onto, like, a game, onto, like, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and remove the assassin. That's simple. Remove the assassin and replace it with your own, like, custom character. But then again, Ubisoft has been like, fucking... That's one thing I've noticed. I'm using sounds to describe things a lot more lately. Like, I'm guessing it gets the point across, but, like, it is kind of fun. It's kind
Oh,
of...
it's always fun. Don't worry.
Like,
And it's another way to express
like,
yourself
yes,
as well.
you could say something is funny, or you can say that shit make me go like... and it will get the point across better. This... Anyway, I don't even fully know of, like, what time to cap it at. It is a test run. Also, the avatar I'm using is the same avatar that I use for my Heckle Hive. It looks kind of like Beelzebub. You got lipstick. And I just now realized my cousin might be watching and would probably go on and go like, who's this? Is this my cousin? And I'll go like, hello, I am flaming homosexual. It's a joke. Actually, the romance novel I have an idea for is like, involves like a gay couple. Or I could make like a novel that like takes inspiration from like Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats.
Wait. This is the type of girl that's too good for anything. Even us as the fan.
Your microphone is picking up on that.
It is?
Yes. Your microphone is very
How about now?
sensitive. Yeah, nothing now. Like,
Any other topics you'd like to discuss?
I'm just... well, maybe like, what kind of games are we been playing lately? Because, as usual, I'm playing Fortnite, but I've also been playing quite a few survival games like Minecraft, Modern Minecraft, and Subnautica Below Zero, which I decided to do it because, one, I haven't really beaten any of the Subnautica games, and two, I haven't really touched Subnautica Below Zero that much. I think I played with it once just to mess around with the sea truck, but that was pretty much it. But yeah.
Yeah. So what else is on your mind, Vanessa?
Um, hmm. Well, I have been thinking of a few other things, such as a well, I already told you about the tournament group idea, which I unironically want to do. And one of the first games that I'm going to be using it for would probably be that Zero G basketball slash soccer game. It's really fun. And there's also oh yeah, Ferality. The new Ferality is coming up.
Ooh, tell me all about it.
It's going to be called Ferality Umbra. And with a lunar type name, I feel like I have to join. So yeah, and I heard it's going to have a desert theme. The first time I went to Ferality was Ferality Silva. And it was amazing. The atmosphere. I even had that live stream. Playing on background constantly so that way I can keep updated with it. And I went to quite a few of the meetups. Like the content creator meetup and and the trans meetup I've been to. And also I've been to the Dealer's Den, and if you don't know about me, I love the browse dealers dens. Especially virtual ones. It's just window shopping, virtual window shopping, but immersive. Yeah. That's probably why I also like VCAT and VRCon. Because I just like looking at the different panels and stuff and being like, wow, Marketing.
So, what are you more excited about when it comes to this upcoming Ferality event?
Well, I just hope everything goes well, and because in terms of my status, I'm getting a bit bigger, so hopefully hopefully when I'm there, I would be able to enjoy it and feel the whole experience. Heck, I remember the first time, my first Ferrari, I stayed up all night just so I can get into some of the early events or meetups and whatnot. I met some old friends again. Um which, by the way, meeting your friends uh casually without without being you joined a mutual friend, or or in a public where anything awful could happen. Meeting them casually, just running into them, is just a very, very good, strange feeling, but it's a positive one, of where you just go hey yo, what up, my, you know what I mean? You go what up, homie? Come on, give me some skin. God damn, oh yeah.
Oh, sounds nice and dandy, but what is it that you're looking forward to when it comes to the music, the worlds? Ooh, and the avatars?
I'm not quite a
Everything
big
about the
fan
avatars and
of,
the furry.
I
New
love the
furry
music
hybrid
of,
species. Maybe something that you're looking forward to seeing.
listen, I love the music and sound design. They're just great. I also remember a couple of furry people even had some of their songs appear, which one of them was "You're Just Like Pop Music," and I just went to the guy. I recognized him, and I went to his YouTube channel, and I just fucking just had that playing in the background, go do 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 do, just goddamn. But in terms of actual original Ferality music, I just love their sound design. Which, if you didn't know, each Ferality sort of had a different soundtrack. Legends sort of had either a cityscape or a heroic theme to it. Then there is Ferality Luma, and that sort of had a woodland forest theme, sort of you went into a enchanted forest, it had light tones dee 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 dee, just like that. But Aqua, I do love the soundtrack for Aqua. The Aqua soundtrack is kind of amazing. It gives that long siren sound of while also giving that instrumental tone that you would typically be associated with nature documentaries involving the ocean, or a oceanic tone, I would like to call it. Then with Silva, I think it took heavy inspiration from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. especially Tears of the Kingdom. No, not Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom wasn't out yet. But like, Breath of the Wild, of where it had that woodland theme to it. Of where you just hear like that woodland flute play along. Which, the flute like woodland flute is really great if you want to make your music have like a light and airy tone, which Feraldi Silva focused on and here's one thing to note about like the most recent themes, which is like Luma, Aqua, Silva, and Umbra, is from what I'm able to tell, each one sort of has like a theme of like God damn, you really want to do that? You really want to mess with me? $19 Fortnite card. Who wants it?
I'm enjoying the conversation. Just say that I'm eating. Oh no, not the Fortnite cards. But yes, you was talking about the. Different types of music that you recognize. Please continue with that.
Luma sort of had this like woodland themed. Silva had like a avian themed, or a tropical island. Then, well, not tropical. More like a forested island. Not Ireland, but not Hawaii. Sort of like Madagascar. But yeah.
So what's some of the common themes that you notice in Ferality? And what type of music genres would you like to see in the future, or at least for this upcoming event?
I would say I think they should try to do another city themed, but more like solar punk. So it's very nice and clean, and most of the music has like a very lo-fi on the calmer ends, while having a mixture of something grandiose like In the Realm of Tomorrow. Like something that would just make you go like, wow. Like a hopeful future kind of wow, you know what I mean? Because I would absolutely love that kind of theme. And if you ever look up images of solar punk, you would know what I mean. Especially solar punk cities, of where there's a lot of modern day examples. Yes, it looks very clean and sterile and fancy pants, and just if you want a taste of that, just look at some of the home environments of Oculus Quest. But I just say it's a lovely aesthetic, and like I feel like they can pull it off. So yeah.
Anything that can get me pumped up and pretty much wake me up from my trance of feeling sleepy after partying all day.
Yeah.
Is a winner to be.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard much about VRCon. Uh, I'm trying to remember when was the last time I was there. Like, if you didn't know, the three most biggest conventions, within VRChat is, VCAT, which is the Virtual Marketplace Convention. It, uh, which tends to focus on different stuff that's on the market. Most of the worlds are just community stuff, but some of the bigger ones are like more brand names. Like, I remember quite a few worlds had like way too much effort into the cup ramen stuff. Then there is VRCon, and that's sort of like a convention celebrating and talking about the different communities. Sadly, nowadays, quite a few of them, like, especially with the roleplay sections, roleplay booths, I'm just like, God damn it, I have beef with so many of these motherfuckers. Anyway, and then there's Ferality, which in terms of convention, it works way more like a normal convention. Which I do remember Ferality used to have physical conventions, but they decided to go more into like virtual reality, and I guess, like, hey, at least it fits the name. But yeah, for
What were the physical conventions like?
I have no idea. They're like before I even like was able to afford anything, so like I have no clue. I think I was even still on desktop. And probably, like, removed from VRChat quite a few times because Facebook said so. Or whatever bullshit like that.
Alright, Facebook. I'm surprised that app still exists, honestly.
Like, it gets to a point of where a lot of the stuff around my house, like, heck, even the safety stuff, are like more of trends than anything actually, beneficial. Like my mother got rid of like some of our fire extinguishers because a lot of people online is saying the fire blanket is all you need. Prevent fires by just throwing a blanket over it. And I just go like, okay, it's good to have like, stuff, but now that I think about it, we have like, we live in a very cramped apartment with a bunch of stuff around. And if a fire were to actually, get out, a blanket is not going to properly cover it and prevent it. So that's why I have like a safety kit being made, so that way if the place ever does burn down, we can just grab the kit and like, use that to help sustain us for a little while. Aether, Aether 2, that's like that furry fighting game, right?
Oh, it's one of the best, especially with Rivals of Aether 1, where it has literally hundreds upon hundreds of stage and character mods. I'm literally addicted to that game.
Re- Remember, mods may be a good factor of buying a game, especially if the game has not received an update in over a couple years. But remember, mods are not everything, especially if it's still being updated.
That is so true. But honestly, the game by itself without mods is still worth the purchase.
For me, like, if it's like, a multiplayer game, I want to get one that I know that there's going to be people willing and ready to buy it, or willing to play. Like, like, you don't buy, like, a multiplayer game that hasn't received an update in over a bunch of years, and especially if it's like $50 and all you can play is the campaign. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I suffered through that by getting a couple of older Call of Duties, and I regret it. Even though I do like, Black Ops, like, I ain't gonna go through that. Oh, excuse me. Also, I'm thinking of maybe in the future of maybe getting of maybe starting another streamathon.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, well, I like doing the Half-Life one, and the Half-Life one was relatively successful. But the question is, I don't know, like, what game series should I try to do? Because
Sandland.
currently, I'm strongly for, like, the Xenoblade games. Because they are a pretty good set of JRPGs, and, well, I conveniently have the base game of all of them, so, like, And also, Xenoblade is Xenoblade, okay? They were doing the cool shit before Final Fantasy remake, Final Fantasy 7 remake did. Which is like, have it be like have it be like, it's not fully turn-based. You know what I mean? There's more like cooldowns for the different characters. Which, pulling off a combo attack in Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is, like, really awesome. Oh. He lagged out. Oh, he's coming back. Sorry about the background noise. There he is. He's back.
I don't know what happened. For some strange reason, I just got booted.
Hmm. It could be lag. Anyway, we got like 6 minutes left. I'm probably going to like stop it at like, the 2 hour mark. I think 2 hours is like a reasonable amount of time.
That's understandable, honestly. Besides, believe it or not, but my smart.
I think you may have crashed again. Yeah. I'm probably going to export this video to YouTube. Hopefully,
Nice.
like, it picks up more traction and more of the people that are eligible for the podcast would enter in.
And hopefully I sound okay. I mean, I'm on mobile, but I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, it's like, bit mixed, like, like, I can tell, like, you're lagging a bit, but I don't know how it is on your end.
Honestly, I actually want to see this past live stream. I need to know how I sound on mobile so I can fix that issue. I mean, yes, I have headphones, but if I plug it in, um, yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as it's pretty much a USB-C port. So maybe what I should do is probably get one of those headphones where I don't need a USB-C. I don't know.
You might have a headphone jack. Do you know what a headphone jack is?
3 millimeter headphone jack. Yes, I do. But
It,
these new enhanced smartphones don't have that. They have USB-C ports. I would have to buy a what is
a
it? One of those
adapter?
USB-C plugins that has a 3.5 millimeter jack along with a charger port instead.
Yeah.
So many add-ons I had to purchase for a smartphone. Oh, I never had to do this before.
My my phone has a headphone jack, and like, I don't know what I would do without it, like, goddamn. Like, that system was already working already. Like, and the only problem with it is that stupid Apple wasn't using it. But just because stupid Apple wasn't using it doesn't mean that you should too. As a matter of fact, that means you should, like, double down on it. I mean, it's simple, easy, and effective.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So, I think this went lovely. I think this went pretty well, when you say so.
I had lots of fun. It definitely made my day at work go by faster.
Maybe next time you might be able to be on here through, like, computer or VR. But yeah. Looks like there's like 1 minute remaining. I have to say, this went very swimmingly. Oh. And I guess I'll see you all next time. So, bye bye. Mwah.